Tired of your nights being a constant parade to the bathroom? That feeling of never getting a full night's rest can really take a toll. What if I told you a few simple, everyday habits might be the culprit? We're about to uncover them. If this sounds familiar, give us a like, subscribe, and tell us where you're watching from in the comments. Let's get right to it, my friend. We're here to talk about something that affects so many men, yet it's often whispered about in hushed tones. Prostate. Health, it's a cornerstone of male well-being, especially for us seniors, but so often we dismiss the warning signs as just a part of getting older. The truth is, achieving genuine longevity isn't just about adding years to your life, but adding life to your years. And that journey starts with understanding our own bodies and the subtle signals they send us, paving the way for true healthy aging and continued happiness. Think of your prostate as a small but mighty gatekeeper. It's a little gland about the size of a walnut, sitting right below your bladder. In our youth, it does its job quietly, playing a key role in the reproductive system. But as the years go by, it has a tendency to, well, expand its territory. This growth, known as benign prostatic hyperplasia, is incredibly common. While it isn't cancer, its impact on your daily quality of life can be absolutely massive, often standing in the way of the comfort and peace you deserve in your golden years. So, what's the big deal if it gets a little larger? Imagine a gentle river flowing freely. Now imagine someone slowly placing stones in the middle of that river. The flow becomes weaker, disrupted, and sometimes blocked. That's precisely what happens when the prostate enlarges. It squeezes the urethra, the tube that carries urine out, making the simple act of going to the bathroom a frustrating ordeal. This is a direct challenge to a man's sense of normalcy and independence, and it's a health issue we absolutely need to address head-on for a better future. The consequences ripple outwards, affecting everything. You might notice the stream isn't as strong as it used to be, or perhaps you feel like you haven't completely emptied your bladder, leaving a nagging sense of discomfort. And the most notorious symptom of all, waking up 3, 4, even 5 times a night. This isn't just an annoyance, it's a thief of deep, restorative sleep, which is fundamental for both physical health and a sharp, active mind. This cycle can chip away at your energy, your mood, and your overall happiness. Now, we're going to dive into 10 incredibly common habits that, without you even realizing it, could be silently harming your prostate. But before we do, I want you to know this isn't about blame or fear. This is about empowerment. It's about taking back control and understanding that many aspects of our well-being are firmly in our hands. Making small, conscious changes is the most powerful form of self-care, a true investment in your long-term health and a vibrant, active life. Let's start with the first and perhaps most counterintuitive habit: not drinking enough water. I know what you're thinking. Dr. Henry, if I drink more water, won't I have to go to the bathroom even more? It's a logical thought, but the body's chemistry is a bit more complex. When you're dehydrated, your urine becomes highly concentrated. Think of it like a potent, acidic brew that irritates the sensitive lining of your bladder and, by extension, your prostate, which sits right next door. This is a simple nutrition tweak with profound effects. This constant irritation can trigger inflammation, making all your existing symptoms worse. It can increase that sense of urgency, the burning sensation, and yes, even the number of nighttime trips. Your body is trying to flush out this irritating substance, leading to more frequent urges, even if your bladder isn't full. Staying properly hydrated with plain, simple water throughout the day is one of the most fundamental healthy habits you can adopt for your urinary health and overall well-being. It's about working with your body, not against it. So, how do you fix this? The key is consistency, not volume. Don't try to chug a huge bottle all at once. Instead, keep a glass of water nearby and take small sips throughout the day. A great rule of thumb is to check the color of your urine. If it's a pale, straw-like yellow, you're doing great. If it's dark and amber-colored, that's your body sending a clear signal that it needs more fluids. This simple act of observation can dramatically improve your quality of life and support your journey toward longevity. Next up is something many of us are guilty of in our modern world: spending too many hours sitting down. Whether it's watching television, reading a good book, or working at a desk, prolonged sitting puts constant pressure on your pelvic region. This isn't just about posture. It directly impacts the intricate systems that keep you healthy. This sustained pressure can significantly reduce blood flow to the prostate, depriving it of the vital oxygen and nutrients it needs to function properly and repair itself. This lack of circulation creates a perfect environment for inflammation to set in and thrive, contributing to the gradual enlargement of the prostate over time. Furthermore, the muscles of your pelvic floor, which are crucial for bladder control and complete emptying, can weaken from disuse. When these muscles are weak, you struggle to fully void, leaving residual urine behind. This leftover urine is a major irritant and can even increase the risk of infections, further complicating your health. It's amazing how much a little exercise can do. For a deeper dive into how simple lifestyle tweaks can revolutionize your well-being, check out our ebook, Wellness and Aging, Valuable Tips for Seniors, linked in the first pinned comment. The solution here doesn't require a gym, membership, or a grueling workout routine. It's about breaking the cycle of stillness. Make it a rule to get up and move around for just a couple of minutes every half hour or so. Walk to the kitchen for a sip of water, do a few gentle stretches, or simply stand and look out the window. This simple act of regular movement is a powerful exercise that boosts circulation, strengthens your pelvic muscles, and gives your prostate a much-needed break, promoting healthy aging. Now, let's talk about that. Beloved morning ritual, coffee. Oh, that rich aromatic brew can feel like a non-negotiable part of the day. But if you're already dealing with prostate issues, caffeine can be a real troublemaker. It acts as a diuretic, which means it tells your kidneys to produce more urine. But that's not all. It also irritates and overstimulates the bladder muscles, causing them to contract more frequently and urgently, even when they're not full. This leads to that frantic, "I have to go right now" feeling. That can disrupt your day and sabotage your sense of calm and independence. To make matters worse, caffeine can also cause the neck of the bladder to tighten, making it even harder to empty it completely. This creates a vicious cycle of irritation, incomplete emptying, and more inflammation. Rethinking your caffeine intake is a key piece of the nutrition puzzle when it comes to supporting your long-term health. I'm not asking you to give up your beloved coffee entirely. It's about moderation and smart choices. If you're a 3-cup-a-day person, try cutting back to 1. Consider replacing that second or third cup with a soothing, caffeine-free herbal tea like chamomile or peppermint. These can actually help relax the bladder muscles. Try it for just 1 week. Pay attention to your body. You might be genuinely surprised by the improvement in your symptoms and the boost to your overall happiness. If you're finding these tips helpful, do me a quick favor and tap that like button. It really helps our channel reach more seniors who could benefit from this information. Let's move into the kitchen and talk about what's on your plate. Specifically, let's discuss spicy foods and ultra-processed products. A little bit of spice can make a meal wonderful, but if your diet is consistently high in fiery peppers, heavy salts, and processed items like sausages, instant soups, and frozen dinners, your body is paying a price. These foods are often loaded with sodium, unhealthy fats, and chemical additives that can disrupt your hormonal balance. This disruption is a major contributor to systemic inflammation, which is the enemy of a healthy prostate. Think of it as constantly adding fuel to a fire you're trying to put out. Your body is working hard to maintain equilibrium, but a diet heavy in these inflammatory agents makes that job incredibly difficult. Prioritizing clean nutrition is one of the most impactful healthy habits you can cultivate for longevity and a high quality of life, allowing you to stay active and engaged. The fix is simpler than you might think. Get back to basics. Cooking more meals at home gives you complete control over the ingredients. Focus on incorporating a colorful variety of vegetables, lean proteins like fish and chicken, and healthy fats from sources like avocados and nuts. This isn't about eating boring, bland food. It's about eating real, whole foods that nourish your body instead of inflaming it. Your prostate, and indeed your entire body, will thank you for this delicious investment in your health. Here's a habit that seems harmless, but can cause a cascade of problems. Routinely holding it in. We've all done it. You're in the middle of something important. You feel the urge, and you think, "I'll just wait a little longer." But when this becomes a regular pattern, you're putting your bladder under immense strain. An overfilled bladder stretches out like a balloon, and this stretching puts direct physical pressure on the prostate gland located just beneath it. Over time, this repeated pressure can lead to chronic inflammation and can even damage the bladder walls, making them less effective at contracting and emptying. And what happens to that urine that stays behind? It becomes a stagnant pool, creating an ideal breeding ground for bacteria. This significantly increases your risk for painful urinary tract infections, which can be particularly stubborn and dangerous for seniors, setting back your journey towards well-being. The advice here is as simple as it gets. Listen to your body. When you feel the urge to go, go. Don't postpone it. It may seem like a tiny, insignificant detail in your day, but respecting your body's signals is a profound act of self-care. This simple, consistent habit is a powerful way to protect your urinary system, maintain your independence, and ensure your long-term health and comfort. It's one of the easiest ways to improve your daily quality of life. Now for a tough one, smoking. We all know the devastating effects smoking has on the lungs and heart, but its negative impact extends throughout the entire body, right down to the prostate. The toxic chemicals in cigarette smoke are absorbed into your bloodstream and wreak havoc everywhere. Specifically, smoking constricts blood vessels and severely reduces blood flow to the pelvic region. This starves the prostate of the oxygen it needs to stay healthy. This state of oxygen deprivation, known as hypoxia, makes the prostate far more susceptible to inflammation and damage. On top of that, tobacco use depletes the body's natural supply of antioxidants. Antioxidants are your body's repair crew, fixing cellular damage. Without an adequate supply, your tissues can't heal properly, accelerating the aging process and increasing the risk of diseases, including studies that link smoking to a higher risk of aggressive prostate cancer. If you're a smoker, please hear this. It is never, ever too late to quit. I've had patients like Dr. Henry who quit in their 60s and 70s and were astounded by how quickly they started to feel better. They slept more soundly, their urinary symptoms improved, and their energy levels soared. Quitting is one of the single most powerful things you can do for your longevity and happiness. There are so many resources available today to help. Your future self will thank you. Let's talk about a mistake that is far too common among men: avoiding the doctor until something is seriously wrong. Many men operate under the "if it ain't broke, don't fix it" philosophy. They wait for pain, for an emergency, for a crisis before they'll even consider a checkup. But prostate problems often develop insidiously, advancing in complete silence without any obvious symptoms in the early stages. You can feel perfectly fine while trouble is brewing under the surface. By the time noticeable symptoms like pain or urinary retention appear, the condition may have already progressed to a more complicated stage. This could mean recurrent infections, bladder stones, or even kidney damage, all of which are much harder to treat. Procrastination in this area is a huge gamble with your health and can seriously compromise your future independence. Staying proactive is the key to healthy aging. Regular checkups are your best defense. A simple annual visit can make all the difference. Screenings like a digital rectal exam, an ultrasound, or a PSA blood test can detect issues long before they become major problems. I know these topics can be uncomfortable to discuss, but I promise you, having a brief, proactive conversation with your doctor is infinitely easier than dealing with a severe complication later on. Early detection gives you more options, often simpler ones, and puts you in the driver's seat of your own health journey. Another point on nutrition that deserves its own spotlight is the overconsumption of red and processed meats. Now, I'm not here to demonize a good steak dinner once in a while. The problem arises when things like bacon, sausages, and red meat become daily staples. These foods are typically high in saturated fats and chemical additives that are known to promote a state of chronic, low-grade inflammation throughout the body. This inflammatory environment directly affects the prostate, but it also disrupts the delicate balance of male hormones. A diet heavy in these foods can interfere with testosterone metabolism, which in turn can encourage the prostate to grow. Furthermore, these heavy foods are often difficult to digest, leading to constipation. Straining during bowel movements puts additional pressure on the pelvic area, further aggravating any existing prostate discomfort and impacting your quality of life. The solution isn't about becoming a vegetarian overnight. It's about finding a healthier balance. Try limiting red meat to just once or twice a week. On other days, explore other fantastic sources of protein like fish, lentils, beans, or chicken. When you do eat meat, try baking or grilling it instead of frying. These small shifts in your eating habits can significantly reduce inflammation, support a healthy digestive system, and contribute immensely to your long-term well-being and happiness. I hope you're taking some of this to heart. If you are, let me know in the comments which one of these habits you might try to change first. I read every single one. Now, we need to address a sensitive but crucial topic: excess. Weight, especially the fat that accumulates around the abdomen. That spare tire is more than just a cosmetic issue, it's a metabolic red flag. Abdominal fat is biologically active, constantly producing inflammatory substances that circulate throughout your body, creating a state of chronic inflammation that is a sworn enemy of prostate health. Men with a larger waist circumference are at a significantly higher risk for developing an enlarged prostate and experiencing more severe urinary symptoms. This excess fat also throws your hormones out of whack. It can lead to lower testosterone levels and higher estrogen levels, a combination that has been shown to fuel prostate growth. It's a physical and hormonal double whammy that directly undermines your efforts toward healthy aging and maintaining an active mind. Here's the good news. You don't need to achieve some unrealistic weight loss goal to see a massive improvement. Losing just a few pounds can make a world of difference. Start with small, manageable steps. Go for a brisk walk every day. Cut back on sugary drinks and refined carbs. Focus on smaller portions. It's not about punishing diets, it's about making smarter choices, one meal at a time. Reducing that abdominal fat will not only take physical pressure off your bladder, but will also calm the inflammatory storm inside your body. Finally, let's talk about the silent saboteur: chronic stress. This is perhaps the most overlooked habit of them all, but its power is immense. Stress isn't just in your head. When you're constantly worried, anxious, or tense, your body is flooded with the stress hormone cortisol. Over time, elevated cortisol levels lead to internal inflammation, hormonal imbalances, and, critically for this topic, chronic muscle tension, especially in the pelvic floor. This constant, unconscious clenching of the pelvic muscles puts direct pressure on the prostate, exacerbating all the symptoms of an enlarged prostate. It can make urination more difficult and painful, and it contributes to that feeling of urgency and frequency. I've seen men whose symptoms dramatically improved, not with medication, but simply by learning to manage their stress and relax their bodies. A calm mind truly contributes to a healthy body. So how can you start to unwind? Begin with just 10 minutes a day dedicated to yourself. Practice deep breathing. Listen to calming music. Take a walk in nature without your phone. Laugh with a friend. The goal is to consciously release that tension you've been holding on to. Prioritizing rest and mental peace is not an indulgence. It's essential medicine for your prostate and a vital component of a long, happy life filled with well-being. Now, I want to shift from the don'ts to the cans because there is so much hope. I want to share the story of a gentleman I know, a retired driver named Manuel who was in his late 60s. He was terrified of going to the doctor, believing that what you don't know can't hurt you. He was experiencing a weak stream and that frustrating feeling of not emptying his bladder, but fear kept him from seeking help. He was sacrificing his quality of life for a false sense of security. After a health talk, he finally approached Dr. Henry. His tests showed a mild enlargement of the prostate, nothing severe but something that needed attention. The key wasn't a prescription pad, it was a conversation. Manuel admitted that since retiring, he'd felt useless and had been bottling up a lot of anxiety. His journey to better health wasn't just about reducing red meat and adding some light exercise. It was about addressing the stress that was tightening its grip on his body. He started talking more, finding new hobbies, and learning to let go of his worries. 2 months later, he was a different man, more relaxed, more cheerful. He told Dr. Henry, "I didn't realize that taking care of my prostate was also about taking care of my head and my heart." His story is a powerful reminder that our emotional well-being and physical health are deeply intertwined. True longevity comes from nurturing the whole person. Then there's Julian, a vibrant 80-year-old man who was the picture of healthy aging. He never came in for problems of his own, but accompanied his wife to her appointments. He was always smiling, always walking tall. One day, Dr. Henry asked him his secret. He laughed and said, "I treat my body like I treat my garden." He explained his simple routine. He drank water all day, walked every morning, ate plenty of vegetables, and made sure to laugh a little every single day. He said, "If I water my garden, aerate the soil and care for it, it flourishes. If I neglect it, it withers." The prostate is just one part of that garden. His wisdom was profound. He instinctively understood that consistent, positive, healthy habits are what cultivate a life of vitality and happiness. He wasn't perfect, but he was consistent. He is a shining example of how our daily choices pave the road to a long and fulfilling life, full of independence and joy. These stories show us that it's never too late to make a change, and that you don't have to be perfect. You just have to be willing to start. Perhaps you see a bit of yourself in Manuel's fear, or in the simple daily frustrations that were wearing down Don Ernesto. Or maybe you're already on a good path and aspire to be like Julian, a beacon of health and well-being for those around you. Wherever you are, on your journey, the very fact that you're here listening and learning is a huge and courageous step. So what do you do with all this information now? The answer is beautifully simple. Don't try to overhaul your entire life overnight. That's a recipe for failure. Instead, just pick one thing. The easiest one, the one that made you think, yeah, I could probably do that. Maybe it's swapping that second cup of coffee for a cup of tea. Maybe it's just getting up from your chair a few more times each day. The goal is not perfection. The goal is progress. It's about making a real, sustainable change that becomes a natural part of your routine. Your prostate may be small, but its influence on your sleep, your energy, and your mood is enormous. The amazing thing is, your body is ready and willing to respond. It wants to heal. All you have to do is give it a chance by listening to its needs and making one small, positive choice today. Your journey to better health, greater comfort, and renewed energy begins with a single decision. What is one small change you feel inspired to make after hearing all this today? Let me know in the comments below. And if you haven't already, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our next video, where we'll explore foods that actively help shrink the prostate. Thank you for being here and investing in yourself.